Okay, so this has got to be the hottest XRP chart that everybody is talking about right now, as it showcases that a breakout for XRP is bound to happen. Now, as you guys might know from watching the channel, I'm always optimistic about XRP, but right now, the last few days, even people that hate on XRP, people that only support Bitcoin, have started to post some videos about it, put some content out about it, because it's just that obvious. For example, even my good friend Chris here has all of a sudden started to post something pretty interesting about XRP that, well, it gained a lot of attention, and take a look at this. So basically, XRP has had a long history of consolidating into a point, right? You can see here, it's been ranging, going towards a final conclusion point, and all of a sudden, it gets a crazy breakout, starts to go absolutely on a rampage, and doesn't stop for a while. And in this period here, it went from the 50-cent mark or so all the way towards $3.40. Now, people are again noticing there are two ways to draw it in. One is the symmetrical triangle way of just taking out the endpoints. This is, I think, the method that most people are looking at it through, though. But this can be seen in multiple different ways. Some might argue that this is actually a bearish pattern, meaning that the price should break out towards the downside. Why? Well, because if you take a look at the bottom, right, for example, this $1.90 mark or so, it's been hit time and time again, while the top keeps going down lower and lower, basically meaning it keeps getting weaker, and eventually this $1.90, $2 mark will get broken, right? So we basically are expecting a move to the downside. I'd argue the opposite. Why? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think the most correct way to look at this is actually from this angle, from a lower low and lower high perspective, basically becoming a falling wedge, which for the most part breaks out towards the top. Because again, what we're seeing right now is we had ourselves a massive, just absolutely massive impulse, right? That's what we saw right here. This move from October, I'm going to say November 2024, all the way towards about January of 2025. Just weeks on end of crazy pumps. Then we had ourselves a break. Literally everything took a break, right? No more gains, no real massive losses, but for the most part, we just took a bit of a break, no more crazy breakout, nothing. And all of a sudden, right, eventually, that pump just starts to continue on. You can see here major bullish swings on the bigger time frame. On the short term, though, a little bit of a bearish swing that eventually, again, is usually followed up by a massive breakout towards the top. And some are arguing that this is that moment where, again, XRP goes from potentially the $2 mark really towards the 10s or 20s. But I'm personally saying no. Just like we're with Bitcoin, we had ourselves a massive impulse, a bit of a break, and then the breakout, the craziness. We need confirmations. We need to patiently wait it out, right? We've got targets, even for this. We talked about it, and by the way, pretty quickly after we said, hey, Bitcoin is looking juicy here, it decided to break out. But as you can see, it's already been a bit of time, and Bitcoin is nowhere near the top, right? With any one of these patterns, we know eventually, for the most part, they'll come true. We know eventually XRP will probably hit that $10, $12, $15 mark, but we have to be patient. Now, again, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. As you can see, we've got a pretty juicy XRP trade open, about $570,000 worth. That's not even at profit just quite yet, right? We're down $20,000 on this, as our average price is $2.33. But I personally think that this eventually will be in a couple $100,000 worth of a plus, probably given a few more months. I think maximum of 6 months, this will be up at least $250,000. I think significantly more though. And again, if we actually are able to get to that $10 mark, think about it. We are forexing from here. That will be a couple $1 million we make on just this one trade. Not even my XRP holdings, just one trade. Now again, if you also want to trade crypto, a link is down below. For example, the platform I'm using here is Blowfin. You can find the link right there, or my bot trading strategies are over on Payonix, which are also doing pretty freaking good right now. But I just want y'all to realize, right, over time, Bitcoin has always gone up. Right now, Bitcoin's dominance has peaked yet again. It just seems as if the next move here is going to be the move of the altcoin season. Bitcoin just set itself the highest weekly close ever. Beautiful to see, beautiful, 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 but all we're waiting for is alts. But I'm telling you right now, there'll be a break very, very soon, all right? It's just been consolidating. Every single altcoin has been boring for a few months now. Nothing has been doing anything. No coin has been interesting for the past few months, but soon that's going to change. And you know what is funny? People go to the comment section quickly to write, you just say it's gonna go up or down. You say this every time. You will keep saying this in 100 videos. But you know what? I will maybe keep saying this for 100 videos in a row. But I prefer to say this 100 days in a freaking row than miss out on the craziest run of our lifetimes. Matter of fact, I think it's worth it for me to shout it 3 times a day on this channel every single time to everybody because I'm that confident. I'm that sure that this is going to be a generational run. And I want to make sure that every freaking person knows that I'm going all in. And I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if it takes another 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. I know I've made videos years ago screaming at people to please get some money in these crypto coins. And you know what people say? But what if it goes down? And now they look back and say, oh, I wish I listened. You know the funniest thing as well? People keep commenting, oh, but. Shut up and make some profit, all right? Because I'm out here trading, all right? You can see some of my trades are right on the screen. If you really don't think it's going to happen, especially not in the next few months, right? Because every single day people are commenting, no, we're going to go to $60,000 first, whatever. Show me your shorts. Show me that you actually think it's going to go down. Put a couple $1,000,000 on it and then start talking. All right, because most people don't like to do that. They are warriors on the keyboard, but don't put their money where their mouth is. I am publicly investing millions of dollars in this crypto space, all right? And even though it might be up millions, we're going for more. You might call this greed, but hey, wait a second. What I call this is a generational wealth opportunity, and I'm not gonna let this slip. So even if I have to make 4 videos a day, 7 videos a day, screaming at the top of my lungs why I think this is one of the craziest opportunities ever, I'll keep doing that if it helps more people. Because one thing y'all not understanding, I can make the same video 1,000 freaking times, and it's only the 1,001st time, which again, that video I could potentially never make, that people would have listened. Because I keep screaming the exact same thing. I've said buy XRP at 11 cents so many times. I've said buy Bitcoin at $2,000 for so many days in a row. Because I've had this channel for almost a decade. Most people don't listen. Really, most people don't. It's only after they've seen me talk about it time and time and time again. They've seen me potentially make hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars worth of profit. That eventually they get a grip and think, maybe I should give this a try. I always say, from a risk-reward perspective, there's almost nothing better, really. The opportunity we're getting right now, it almost never will be as good as what we've got right here. And there are a couple of coins I think have got an edge. But then, when we take a look at a XRP pattern like this, all right, or even Bitcoin for that matter, but let's just say XRP pattern combined with Bitcoin's dominance. It doesn't get much better than that. Again, is it a certainty? No. But does it just make a whole lot of sense for XRP to start breaking out and going a bit crazy? Oh yeah, it does, right? And even if this takes a bit of time, maybe we get one more rejection. As long as you don't fall below this moving average, I'm buying the crap out of it. Last time, do y'all remember that we opened another portion of this trade and I said, if it ever goes below $2, we're buying another $1,000,000. But then war broke out and I said, all right, guys, be a bit careful because if World War III really comes in, which again, maybe it was not that close, maybe it was, then our trades might be a bit wrecked. If we open that $1,000,000 trade right there, just for fun, right? You can see just in the last week or so, we would have made $200,000 just off of that one move alone. Why didn't we do it? Because war. And there's always exceptions to any single rule. But in general, the strategies of buy the freaking crap out of these coins and don't look back has thus far always worked. When will it not work? If the whole entire world goes to shit and crypto goes to zero. But as long as that's not the case, I think it's pretty much worth it to try. And if you disagree, let me know down below. Show me your shorts. Show me, all right, how much money you make if crypto goes to zero. If not, then you're basically either neutral or bullish. And I think most people that actually stumble upon this video are actually bullish. And then comes my question, if you are, then what do you disagree with here, right? Those are my thoughts. If you agree, put that like button. If you disagree, let me know down below why. And I'll see you guys again in another one.